going on, YouTube world? Michael, Steve, Dave, at some point Vincenzo, and possibly others. I don't know. Let's see. Episode 228. Talk about the draft. Talk about the Expo. Like Tim Raines, Pedro Martinez, people of that ilk. And then top 5 instruments in song.
We should have had a good doctor on to talk.
I reached out to him, but he's like, I either
respectfully declined.
Well, again, he's like, I either make it 10 minutes or I'm done, or I'm there for an hour and then I'm out completely. So.
I gotcha.
So again, I reached out. I was like, well, if you come on, you come on. If you don't, you don't. I mean, it's not like
no. We are going to force you to come on here, speak to these fine people.
Who?
5 people watching.
So.
It's a light audience evening, it appears. Anything going on other than like NHL playoffs? Like anything else of great?
Since most of our audience is Canadian.
I think it's split.
Yeah. I'm just being an asshole.
I think the rest are watching the NBA playoffs with bated breath.
Yeah, well. I'm sure it'll pick up a little bit at some point. Then again, maybe it won't. We don't have a Hall of Famer on here yet. We'll start pushing for Dave to make the Hall of Fame here before too long.
That ain't gonna happen.
Michael,
what up?
Permission to send you a text. I'm over my quota for the month. It's a good one.
I suppose so.
He's probably already seen it, though.
No.
How do you know?
Because I didn't send it to him.
Doesn't mean he hasn't seen it yet.
No, I'm assuming it's going to be more food pictures.
No. It's a card.
Well, then you're...
Well, this is important.
Okay.
Because when you see it, it finishes something that you were a part of.
Oh, I see.
So that completes the rainbow.
Very nice.
I didn't even know this was going to exist, but because the redemption of yours, this has something to do with EPAC, I think.
Okay.
So it's sort of a bounty for EPAC, I think. So you have your regular one, you have your purple one, you have the one Michael got me the gold. Well, this is the green to 50. So I nailed it down on ComC today. I made the dude or lady or person an offer, and they accepted, and now I got the rainbow done.
Very nice.
Nice.
Now I will not talk because that was my last thing to him. I found a Casey's on the border of right when you come over the border from Indiana into Michigan. There's a Casey's. I tried their pizza, pretty decent, and then I've just been using this glass because I'm earth conscious.
The secret to Casey's pizza, because I love it, is the next day when you go to reheat it, you throw it in the air fryer for about 6 minutes.
Okay.
And it turns into like the best pizza. Because theirs is almost kind of a bread dough, the bread dough style.
Yeah.
This crisps up that crust.
Well, I gave C, and she starts eating my pizza. I said, hold on, chickadee. Hold on. I said, "You're going across the street to that shit. I can't eat McDonald's anymore. I've reached my limit." I said, "This piece of pizza," but Dad, you've eaten pizza all weekend. I said, and the problem is,
Yeah, it's
I
not a
had,
problem.
Yeah, your
I had
point.
Moretti's, then I had Rosati's, and then I had Casey's.
Yeah. And my favorite thing about Casey's Pizza is we like to order Canadian bacon and pepperoni. Well, the Canadian bacon are the big round slices and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They put that directly on the sauce, then the cheese, then the pepperoni on top of that.
Yep. I seen it, but a lady was in front of me and she bought it all.
Oh,
She's like, can you? And then the lady after that picked up 8 pizzas.
holy shit.
And I was like, I just want 2 slices. What do I put these in? Do you have any convenient boxes like Speedway? But you don't. So I just shoved them in a bag. Said, "Piss
Yeah,
on it."
you get them on their little cardboard slider inside the plastic bag.
Okay, so I did right.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
When you buy it straight by the slice like that, that's what you do.
Okay. Now I know.
And knowing's half the battle.
G.I. Joe, baby.
There's one of those I found when I came back from Deer River on last Tuesday, right outside of like Grand Rapids. So I saw the Casey's and I'm like, did I take a wrong turn? Am I in Illinois? I mean, where the fuck am I? I didn't know there's a Casey's up this far. Because that seems, again, I don't even know where I'd begin seeing them normally.
We have 5 in our town.
Well, that's what I mean. When you see it, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, there's one literally just up the block to me.
because they're everywhere. There's not just like, oh, there's one,
Yeah,
and then
they're everywhere here.
it's like a dollar store.
Never
A
seen
dollar
one.
store, it's like fucking everywhere.
I can't remember. We have $4 or $5 Generals in Sedalia as well.
I've
And
never
then
seen the
We usually have
Casey's.
7-Eleven.
And in any town that you go to, you know there are Casey's you don't go to, and there are Dollar Generals you don't go to. We have those. Unfortunately, the Casey's by my house is the one you don't go to.
Of course it is.
Yeah. But luckily, on the way home between Knobnoster and Sedalia, there's a town called Lamont that has a great one with the Dollar General right next door. Both those Casey's, that Casey's and the Dollar General are great.
Yeah. I've never heard of it until you, Michael.
Yeah.
We don't have any of those here, at least not that I've seen or noticed.
And it's nowhere as near as popular here in Missouri as it is in Iowa. In Iowa, it is Casey's Pizza is like the staple food that's not fried tenderloins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that the popular it's Iowa and Illinois, or at least northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Then again, I don't branch out very often. Not that there's a whole lot of shit really near us other than the same stuff. I have freaking 2 Portillos within like, I don't know, 15 minutes of each other, and I've still yet to go.
Huh.
The kids had it for the first time. Haley and Zach. They're like, why don't you tell? I said I did. Shut up.
Yeah, we have so the one in the colony's been open for a while. And then the one in Denton just opened a couple of months ago, I think. It's like, I know it's there, but my kid is very particular when it comes to stuff and doesn't like to branch out a whole lot. So, I don't know. It's definitely on the list, and it's going to be kind of like, well, you either find something or we'll stop somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm going here. You don't want nothing from here.
Figure it out.
I can't help you, but we can go somewhere else. But I'm going here.
Yeah.
No matter what. We're as much as I don't want to go somewhere else, I'm getting portobello's and I'm gonna fucking
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of other food, like it. Do you have a Whataburger, Michael, or is it still pretty much like a Texas thing?
That's still a Texas thing.
Steak and Shake is up that way.
Steak and Shake is. We have
Steak and Shake is
Wahlburgers
garbage.
are here.
Steak and Shake is garbage. But no. Mm-mm. Whataburger has a banana pudding shake.
Yuck.
No.
Bananas are disgusting.
Holy shit. See, like banana pudding is one of my favorite desserts ever.
Makes sense. You have bad taste.
Eat a dick.
That would
Michael
be more your.
sunshine.
Bananas are nasty. Whatever.
See, I don't mind bananas. I'll eat 2 or 3 a week at the store just because they've got the little bin where it's a single. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to cramp up today. That's my thought process. And
high in potassium.
but
I like bananas in smoothies with strawberries and like blueberries and blackberries, raspberries type thing. Stuff that covers up the flavor.
See, I'm a big like with smoothies and malts. It's got to be a berry something.
Yeah.
Preferably like the blackberry, or like Michael said, multiple of all the berries just tossed in there and made me like a great, great delight to indulge in. Not banana pudding. That just doesn't sound like anything I ever want to be near. That sounds like straight south, like deep south.
I tried the new Mountain Dew. Is it Overdrive, that orange one? Orange color? I think that's what it's called.
They've got.
It was hideous.
There's 2 of them. So there's a regular orange, and then there's one that Dave showed.
Isn't there one called? There's Live Wire, which has been out for a really long time.
Yeah, that
And
one's good.
This new one called Overdrive, I decided to try it. I wasn't paying attention to the graphics on it, and it appears as though one of the fruits that in it is mango.
Yep.
It tastes awful. I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that one either.
That was
The purple one tastes like cough syrup.
Does it?
Oh, it's awful. I like
Lil Wayne will like it. Lil Wayne will be excited.
this right here. This is my go-to now. I stopped drinking the regular Mountain Dew. I drink this Voltage.
I don't like any Mountain Dew other than I like Code Red, but I haven't drank Code Red since 2001.
My daughter.
It came out whenever I was graduating high school, my senior year. So when Code Red Mountain Dew came out, and I drank so much of it that I stopped, and I have not had one since.
That sounds like me and Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I don't get the. I'll have one of those like every 6 months, and even then, that's too often. But I get tired of the commercials about it. It's like it's not that good. I'm starting to hack like fucking phlegm like almost immediately after like swallowing. Like, this is fucking. Why do I torture myself? And I don't know if it's Coke products in general or what, but it's like I can't drink Coke without hacking.
I've
Sprite
been
is okay, but everything else, yeah, I'm just sitting there. Oh.
How's that go again?
I've been on a kick of either mug root beer or Starry.
What?
Yeah. Starry is like bland.
That is.
It is a palate cleanser for me.
Holy fuck.
Okay, I'll give you that, but like it is so bland.
No.
It reminds me of water at the old the elementary gym. It has that like taste to it. that chlorine or whatever.
Okay, it's not that bad.
It is. It's fucking trash.
Whenever I bowl, there was nothing better than Sierra Mist out of the fountain.
That's fair.
Do you think Starry and Sierra Mist are the same?
No,
Do you think they've changed it?
that's different because the Sierra Mist was.
See, I never drank Sierra Mist out of the bottle or can, so I don't know how to compare it. I only ever had it out of the fountain. Now I will drink Starry out of the bottle.
And mug root beer is quite possibly the worst root beer of all time.
No,
Mark's
A&W is the best.
Well,
out of the bottle.
A&W used to be my favorite until they started going with that made with real vanilla thing, and now that is the aftertaste of A&W is atrocious to me. And it was always my favorite since I was a little kid. I only ever wanted A&W root beer, and now it just has, for me, the finishing flavor of it is almost like chocolate. And I don't know why.
Of course, IBC is good too.
And I like it in a frosty mug, even though I'll never go over that way.
Yeah.
The frosty mug root beer, A&W, and I like Bart. That's where.
No.
And then it's called 1919 root beer. It's like a that's good too. But
oh, you moved it, Bob.
who's that guy? Who's that guy?
More on that later.
Yeah, we're not talking that root beer.
Yeah, I haven't had a dad's root beer in many moons. That was always like the cheap root beer, but it's always good.
IBC in the bottle.
Yeah, that's not bad either. And then there's all the other flavors though too, like the blackberry and sarsaparilla or whatever. Or they became more prevalent.
There's a restaurant change around here called Colton's. It's like a steakhouse type place, like a Texas Roadhouse type place. Mm-hmm. I don't know the name of the root beer, but when you order root beer there, they serve it to you in a bottle, and it's very good. But I don't know if it's like a proprietary thing that they do themselves or what, because I've never seen it for sale anywhere. But it's really good.
There's one the store sells called Birch's.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, Birch's.
There was people from I just saw these dudes were filling up their cart with nothing but that, like the 2 liters, the 6-pack cans, and the 20-ounce bottles, and I was like, I guess they were from out of town and they don't sell that back home wherever they're at, so they were stocking up.
Well, that was no different than, freaking, depending on where the national was, people stocking up on fucking Yingling and bringing it back.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of that.
There's no Yingling here.
Well, it's a Southeast thing, and I'm surprised they haven't decided or thought about the next place they'll expand. Because to me, like, I feel like it does fairly well here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does great everywhere that has it.
But what's interesting is most of the places don't give it a large space comparative to like Coors Light, Bud Light, Michelob, like all the staples or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because of that, granted, it doesn't matter anymore because like I don't have 2 refrigerators. So there's I either buy it by the 6-pack or I need to find it warm so I can slowly put some in the refrigerator. Half the time you can't even find them hot.
Yeah.
You only find them freaking on ice pretty much. Of course, it's not on ice. It's in the cooler, but pisses me off. And no convenience stores have them. So either you go to a grocery store or you have to go to like a liquor store. Mm-hmm. Like your corner stores, your 7-Eleven, that type of stuff that also sells beer and wine and shit. They don't stock it.
Huh.
Walgreens doesn't stock it. So, but Yingling is some good shit, man. Me
Well,
like
if
you.
it's soda, it's Baja Blast, and that's pretty much the end.
We're talking beer, Dave. We're talking beer.
And then even then, it's none. I mean, I don't like that taste. I never have before camping once, so it's once or twice a year, maybe 3 times. But the big trip in August, maybe a Mike's. Even this at this point, it's like just don't want to
Yeah,
have it.
Yeah, you didn't even bring Mike's to Chicago. You brought what was it the beer from is that
Probably
Wisconsin?
yeah, the
I've drawn a blank.
I can see it too, and I can't. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. It was good. But like Vinny, when him and the other half and the kiddo ended up going to back home for Thanksgiving or whatever, it wasn't Thanksgiving. I don't even remember what the hell it was, but came back with 2 cases or whatever in preparation for Chicago.
You can get it in Ohio. You can get it in PA, but you cannot find it here anywhere.
Well, because it
Everything's
hasn't
Stella Artois here.
it hasn't expanded further north than where it stops. Again, like Texas is the furthest west that it goes currently. But it'll be interesting to see if they continue to expand or if they just let it be the way that it is.
I don't like Culver's food, but their root beer is good. I tried it. Everybody told me to go try it. So I just ate some cheese curds and some fries, and I told them not to put butter on my burger. And I've only eaten there like twice. The second time I had the root beer because somebody said it was good. I don't think there's any Culver's in PA, is there, Bob?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I didn't think so. My mom and dad got what was it, Chick-fil-A the other day by them, like other than being 40 minutes away. So they
Oh,
have
right.
a Chick-fil-A in Uniontown now, and they're all excited. My
We
brother's
just
like,
like
don't give me that, Jeff.
that's like the Popeyes chicken. There's like one Popeyes chicken in like a 20-mile radius.
Yeah. He's like, he came home from the hospital. She's like, you want me to get you Chick-fil-A? He's like, I don't want that shit. Give me some Arby's. I want potato cakes. He goes, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die happy. Oh, Lord.
So that would be with Chick-fil-A.
Say that again?
Then that would be with Chick-fil-A.
Nah. There's a lot of other things better than Chick-fil-A. I found this stuff. It's called Bear. Bare. Chicken. And they make nuggets, they make patties, and they make strips. You can get it at Walmart or Sam's, and it tastes it's pretty close to Chick-fil-A. Once I had that, I'm like, make it in the air fryer. That'll save me. Spend $10. I get 6 or 7 patties. That 6 or 7, that's a volume meal's $10. I'll give me some waffle fries from Costco and call it a day.
Or if you want, you can buy the Arby's curly fries from Walmart too, if you like curly fries.
Now, if they start making them freaking potato cakes that you can buy them in store, it's over, man. Just over. Those things are, I love them.
All it is a hash brown, man.
But see,
it's a big fucking hash brown. That's all it is.
But the closest Arby's to me was at Century 3 Mall. So I had to go 50 minutes to get there. So I go to Village Pizza, which my boys, I can't think of his name. He owned Napoli Pizza on Pitt's campus. His cousin owned Village Pizza, and it was, I mean, that's the best Neapolitan pizza. It was, and then he had this triangle Sicilian. Oh my god! But I would go to Village Pizza and get 2 slices, and I'd go to Arby's and get a beef and cheddar and a large potato cake, and I'd sit there and be fat, and it was fucking glorious. There's my F word for the night.
Not even 26 minutes in. Wow.
Vinny, did you know Fury's Pizza?
Yeah, I've had it once and it was good.
The roof blew off.
No shit.
In the storm, apparently, yeah.
They've been around for 40 years, 50 years.
Yeah, that when I was still living in West Virginia, that was if we came up to grandma's, that was always a must. Even like taking orders from people back home that had it, bring home an uncooked one so they could cook it.
That's Fury's is a staple. Napoli was so good, but then he was like, he couldn't get he had a cook in there. He got another job and he was like, I've been here for 30 some years on Pitt's campus. He closed the doors. Then he went to work with his cousin at the mall. And you know what happened to Century 3 Mall? There's a tree growing right now. Probably demolished.
So it's kind of like what Vinny did when going to Giordano's.
Yeah.
Took Giordano's to go. And that shit wasn't cheap either.
No, it wasn't. Our big thing is,
but they had the special, like buy 2 get 1 50%, like whatever it was.
You had to buy 3 and you got 2 free. It still was $100.
Mm-hmm. But they also gave you like the freaking insulated freaking bag
that
to
was
put
nice.
the shit
That
into.
saved us a trip.
Because we were sitting there going, okay, we know we need to go here. Where's the nearest Walmart, Target, whatever, to get an ice chest? And then here comes Vinny walking out with the freaking
like the bag. I'm like, this is convenient.
Saves us a freaking extra stop. Because it felt like it took us forever to get back to your fucking house, too.
Yeah.
I found him. I found him. Yeah.
The banana, I don't even remember what it was. The description was, but it was so bad. Like, but the price was great, so that was the best part.
Was it free?
It was like $9, so like that's plenty fine compared to the ones that everybody loves so dearly.
The limited edition ones.
Yeah, those are a little more expensive and stupidly priced, but that's all right.
I know.
What's on the docket tonight?
The draft.
Did you guys hear about the Topps Red Rookie program? Red Rookie logo program?
No.
In baseball? Somebody sent me an article, Sports Collectors Digest or something about
Sports Collectors Daily.
Yeah, daily. On new rookies, they're gonna, if you know the rookie card logo, if it's some of them randomly are gonna be red, and then if you have, it's a redemption program. If you have a red rookie card logo, and that rookie wins the Rookie of the Year, you'll have 4 months to like cash it in to get $100 in Fanatics fan cash. But wait, if you hold that card and that player wins an MVP or a Cy Young in their career, you could then trade it in for $300 in Fanatics fan cash. But wait, if you hold it longer and that player wins multiple MVPs or Cy Youngs, you can trade it in for increased amounts. But wait, if you hold out and that player becomes a Hall of Famer, you can then trade it in for $1,000 in Fanatics fan cash.
So that'd be like a Topps jumbo pack.
So yeah,
You won't
let
even
me
be
hold on to
around
it
long
for
enough to
20
cash
years.
that in.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Or remember where you put it.
Yeah.
Fanatics.
I mean, we'd
Fanatics
almost
won't
all
a
be
thing.
we'd all be near 70 by then. All in our 60s, near 70. For
People
$1,000.
will be putting instructions in their wills like this card you could one day trade in.
Yeah, they'd be like,
I mean,
know what it means. So I'm just gonna sell it.
right.
I mean, at least with the freaking like the buyback MVP stuff that card shops do or whatever, that actually has some significant value for a lot of people.
Yeah, keep it to this a seat. Like I don't mind. Okay, the rookie of the year. That okay, whatever. Like because that's the same kind of like Topps did that home run thing. Like pick a game.
Well, they do it with the MVP stuff already.
Really?
So whoever wins the MVP, and I think it's Topps Chrome.
Yep.
Because it's also color variations. So you go to your local card shop and whoever wins the MVP, the base card or whatever is X amount in store credit at that local card shop. And then like refractors and $2.99, $1.99 or X amount. But like the value increases significantly. But that's at least beneficial because like you're talking some of that shit can be hundreds of dollars in total at that point in time. You go to a shop, you have 30 freaking Otanis in various flavors, and you go to your local card shop and you get $500, $600, $700 in store credit.
Yeah,
That's
and I remember 2018 Bowman had, and they might have done it other years, but it was like a call up like to the big leagues. If you had, it was like an insert. If you had that card and the player pictured on the front was called up to the majors that season, Meadows has one. You could trade it in, and then however money were redeemed is what was stamped. So it's out of 115 because there was only 115 people that redeemed it.
So like stuff like that makes sense.
That's kind of like an added flair, but yeah, it's not like it's not something I'm chasing.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to something for 20 years, and like everybody said, remember where the fuck I put it for $1,000. And 20 years from now, $1,000 ain't gonna be worth it.
Right?
It's gonna be worth the toilet paper you wipe your ass with.
I have no frame of reference for like how far $1 of Fanatics fan cash goes. You know what I mean? I like. What can you get right now for $100? I'm assuming it's like a website thing and there's product on there.
Not a clue.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But
probably
like if you buy, I mean, can you use it across? Because I got my autographed Meadows bat from Fanatics, so like something like that was $62 or something. I mean, maybe it's just dollar for dollar.
Well, if it's anything like Panini points, then like $100 in Fanatics cash ain't worth freaking $2.
I've never once done that. I probably have some unredeemed Panini points, but never once did anything about it. Because I think I heard that like you got to have thousands for it to be like to get anything worthwhile.
Yeah, it's not dollar for dollar.
No.
No, because if you're like 200, 300 points, you'd basically be able to get like the punter auto out of like absolute that wasn't numbered 1 year for like the Steelers, like the black punter they had a few years ago. That would be like your 300 or 400 point card. It's like,
and then you get the privilege of paying the shipping and handling on it.
Yeah,
right. So it actually cost you money.
Yes.
But was there like you could pick out of this many points you can have, or is it just like a random?
Yeah, no,
no,
that is still an option.
Yeah, it's like going to Dave and Buster's with your tickets.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
have 30,000 tickets. What can I get? I can get 2 erasers.
A water pistol. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people who like
A kazoo.
if you
Yeah.
open enough, like because a lot of I won't say a lot, but there was always quite a bit of retail product that if it guaranteed like an auto, like 95% of the time you were getting points.
Yeah.
200, 300, 400 points.
Right. I do recall that too. Yeah.
So like you open a case and you're sitting at, what, 20 boxes in a case, sometimes 40 boxes in a case, depending on the product. 400 points, 4,000 points, 8,000 points.
Yeah, and if you got one that was like 1,600 points or whatever, you're like, oh fuck, that would have been something actually like.
Yeah. Right.
But I know a lot of people like really started letting them build up in order to get like white sparkle packs.
Right. That used to be a thing.
Now, not so much because
No.
I think all white sparkle packs all go on Dutch auction and you pay out the ass for them.
If they go on either Dutch auction or that's what you get when they don't actually make the card you're supposed to get for redemptions.
There's that too. And it usually has to be significant, like a significant player. It's not your third round running back who had a splash of a couple games. No, it has to be like top tier guys.
Like a Shedeur Sanders.
That's not top tier.
Yeah.
You'd actually have to give them money in order for them to sell something.
There was a celebration at work when when you found out we took an offense or a defensive tackle from Oregon. We don't know who he is, but we know who he's not.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, Michael.
Yeah.
How did it feel for you to experience something that hadn't happened in 23 years?
It was nice. I was very happy. There were 3 players. There's 2 players I really wanted, and then there was a third player that Joey really wanted. And when it got to us, all 3 were still there. And it was like, holy shit, maybe they won't fuck this up and draft a guy we've really never heard of. Because that happens a lot with the Packers. Because
right.
Gutekunst would rather be cute and clever than draft the guy that's right in front of you that makes sense. And yeah, when Golden was the name called, it was like, good. And if he doesn't pan out, at least we tried.
Well, see, and that again, that's the thing. But being in Green Bay, it made me wonder. It's like, they haven't drafted an offensive weapon, as in like running back, wide receiver,
skill player,
tight end, and since 2002. Are they gonna break that just because they're in Green Bay?
No.
Or is it because they feel like there's somebody that's worth a damn at that position that's there for the taking? That
this wasn't the draft where anybody was ever going to move up to take somebody. Well, if they fell to you, that was going to be the guy. There wasn't a receiver in this draft worth moving up for.
No.
Correct.
And I thought it was hilarious when the dude out of Arizona went top 10, because that, I don't think he's going to be very good.
Well, that and you go to Carolina, which
that doesn't help. I know there were a lot of teams that really, at least the pundits talked about a lot of teams liking that guy, but I just didn't see the ability to get separation with him. He just didn't seem like he'd get open. He's gonna jump up and get the 50-50 balls and everything, but every throw shouldn't be hard to hit him.
So in other words, no breakaway speed type thing.
Exactly. And then, Golden, I knew he was good. I had no idea he was 4.29 good as far as speed. I was like, that's an insane sprinter speed. We have, as long as I've been a fan, we've never had anybody on the team that's that fast.
Well, Watson, but he fucking pulls his hamstring as soon as he starts going.
Exactly.
So
He thinks about running, and he's out for 4 weeks.
yeah,
I twisted my toe.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because he's obviously very skilled. But Jesus.
Absolutely.
All the skill in the world doesn't mean nothing if you can't play.
the best ability is available.
Availability. Yep. Yeah, I either wanted Golden or I wanted the offensive tackle that the Chiefs ended up taking with the last pick in the first round.
Josh Simmons.
Yep, he was the guy. He was the guy I either wanted him or Golden, and Joey wanted the corner out of Michigan. But I was like, as good and talented as he is, we don't need to be drafting people that get hurt.
No,
That's just not what I want. Especially, I mean, he's had a couple different injuries, but turf toe's a bitch. That one
Took out Jack Lambert.
That seems to just pop up all the time through a player's career if they have it.
yeah, once Dion. It's not like a one and done. It's reoccurring.
It's like plantar fascia, plantar fasciitis. It's always a risk of being there.
Yep.
So, but I did see that we got Isaiah Simmons.
Yep.
Who I'm super pumped about because in that draft that year, he was the guy I wanted. And I knew we wouldn't get him because I knew he was top 10 pick. I thought he was incredible talent. I'm hoping. I mean, he's still young. And
I don't know if it's just because of where he's been going and nobody's really used him properly, but I'm like, I was in that same boat. I'm like, this guy can play.
Yes.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, because he got drafted by Arizona and been playing in New York with the Giants, I think.
Giants had him, and then I don't know.
Okay, bring him. Super athletic linebackers. That's what the Packers need and haven't had until recently with Cooper and Walker. And Walker's just kind of a head case. Edger and Cooper seems to be like he's going to be an all-pro type. So, yeah, when I saw Simmons, I'm like, hey, that's like getting a good draft pick.
Yeah, and again, you don't have to sit there and pay him huge money for 4 or 5 years. You got
I think it was a 1-year contract.
Yeah, you get the 1 year, $4 million or whatever, and the play it, to prove it, whatever. It's like,
which is what happened when we signed Devondre Campbell, and he became a first-team All-Pro in his first year with us, and then kind of went wacky. He became a head case, and then was it the 49ers he quit on this year?
Yes.
He refused to go in the game?
Yeah, somebody came back. I don't know if it's Greenlaw or...
Yes, it was. It was Dre Greenlaw.
And he got more snaps, and he's just like, go in, and he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yep. Yeah, he turned sour at the end of his deal with the Packers, too. I don't know what that was about.
No, I never understand that because, again, it's more money than I'll ever see. And
yeah, and I mean, he was on his way out of the league when the Packers gave him a job.
Mm-hmm.
And gave him a job, and it was rewarding. He did phenomenal for us. Oh, man.
Yeah, I watched, since I don't have like the regular ESPN or NFL network, McAfee had his show on YouTube with live coverage, and there's like, again, these guys might be on the show regularly. I don't fucking know. I don't watch it. There was some dude, they called him Mad Mel Kiper because he looked.
That's Ty Schmidt. Ty Schmidt is on there every day. He's a regular part of the show. He's a Packers fan and a Hawkeye fan. He's from Iowa.
Because he makes me laugh.
He does characters. He has Mad Mel Kiper, and he also does an incredible Lou Holtz.
Okay.
His Jordan Love reaction was great.
Yeah.
If you probably saw the same clip I did, Dave, where like over the years it was like his reaction to each number one pick and the outrage that ensued.
Yep. Yeah, Ty is super talented. He's super funny.
And then there's some other dude that was wearing like the old school starter Patriots jacket, like the Kenny Powers, like the mullet.
Yeah, it's Boston Connor. Also hilarious.
I'm guessing you watch Mr. McAfee a bit.
I have it for several years.
So yeah, these people. I mean, again, I have no idea. Then there was
AJ
the one
Hawks on there. AJ Hawks permit person on the panel too.
Hawk was on there, and then McCarthy. So I'm like, okay, you've got my attention.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Mad Mel Kiper dude, it was great when the Jets picked. It's like, who the fuck cares who they pick? They're gonna pick a tackle, and then what? Go 5-12? Who fucking cares? They just had a Mount Rushmore quarterback, and they won 16. Wow! Now the end's gonna make him better. A tackle? Who the fuck cares? The Jets are never gonna win a Super Bowl. And it's like, oh, I guess I'm watching this from here on out because this is great.
Oh yeah, he's gold.
And it was all the swearing too, so I'm like, it's even better. And
they do that every year, the live draft spectacular. They've been doing it for several years now. That's what I watch instead of watching the TV coverage.
Oh God, I could not even fathom watching stupid Shadur Sanders in the fucking who gives a shit?
It was 3 days of them just talking about it. That was it. That is all they talked about on there.
No, and then third day there wasn't. ESPN had nothing. The second day they had. God, was it Chris Sims was on there with like a bunch of other dudes too? I mean, there's like 4 or 5 people, and there's like some little nerd at the end, and he knew his shit. Or maybe that was the guy. That was day 3. But I'm like, it's not like it used to be. I could sit there and plan the whole weekend around just watching the draft.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'm good. That first round, it goes on for 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, you've been planning and you've been scouting for a couple years. If you don't know who you're picking by now, like the year the Vikings let the thing lap, like what was it? Oh, Ravens came up and picked somebody, and
Ravens and Raiders both.
Like 7 and 8, and then we went down to 9, and I'm like,
yeah, they missed 2 or 3 picks.
Kevin Williams year, I think. And it's just like, you can't be serious. You have 15 minutes on a clock plus all the time. What happened? Did you not have 10 people selected? Like, hey, these are the 10 on our board right now. And then all of a sudden, at 8 or 7, man, these 10, they're just not there anymore. How?
They prepared for their draft like I do for my top 5 on this each week. I have 1, and then I make up 4 on the fly.
So, yeah, the Pat McAfee, that was great.
What is the top 5? If I may interject, what is the top 5 this week?
Top 5 instruments and songs
that you enjoy, like that. Like,
instrument?
Yeah, like specific instrument. Like there's a violin in a specific song, or like you said
in
earlier,
a song, yeah.
Like a kazoo. Yes.
Like I like the guitar solo in this song. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. There's one other.
I only have like 4, I think.
All right.
Tonight.
Better than 0. I don't remember what team it was, but when he said it, I coughed until I started, or I laughed until I coughed, and it was like, I don't give 2 squirts of piss what this team does. It's the same thing. I might have been the Dolphins. Like they can fucking draft another quarterback here. They can draft a coach. They're never going to win a title. They had fucking Dan Marino, and they couldn't fucking get it done. It doesn't matter who they draft here. Nobody.
Good.
They'll never win. Them and the Jets. Never.
Did you hear the grumblings out of Miami today?
I didn't.
There's a lot of talk where there's a lot of veteran players that want out of Miami because they're tired of Mike McDaniel.
I've heard where people don't really care for him.
Yeah, the Jalen Ramsey is kind of situation is, yeah, he wants out of there. He's not the only one, and McDaniel is the reason why. They've grown tired of not.
But he was so cool 2 years ago. He was so cool.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you get out of the abusive relationship, the cool new guy. Everything feels real good, and then then you stop winning.
Mm-mm.
Oh. I second that, Michael.
I just can't believe it's only Tuesday. This week it's been awful already, and we're 2 days in.
Yep. On a positive note, I'm at least no longer sleeping on my mattress and box springs on the floor.
Hell yes. You in the bedroom now?
I am. Bedroom's still not done, but I'm at least actually in my bed.
Beautiful.
I made a commitment on Friday. I was like, okay, I don't give a damn. At a bare minimum, I don't care how late I need to be up. By Sunday night, I am sleeping in my fucking bed.
Yes.
And I've since Sunday night.
Awesome.
Of course, I have to fight for space because both dogs end up in the bed, but it is what it is. Slow progress. Everything is finally assembled. Me and the kiddo finished that last night. I mean, there was only technically two things left if you count one of them as a pair. So the kitchen table and then my 2 end tables. I just needed to put the feet on my end tables and, of course, put the legs on the table. Not that it was anything major, but everything's assembled. Things are slowly falling into place in both bedrooms. The kiddo's been working hard on theirs, so it's coming together. Here in a couple weeks, I think it's going to be where it's going to be piddly shit, like knickknacks, hanging shit on the wall, some of that type of stuff. But
hanging stuff on the wall absolutely sucks.
Well, crazy thing is, I've already told my sister, it's like, when we finally get this shit arranged, like, I'm having you come over and you're going to figure out where to hang shit.
No.
Other than like shelves and that type of stuff, like that I can do. But, pictures and other type of sentimental type stuff, it's like she's got a knack for that shit. And if stuff needs to be like rearranged, like something needs to be moved from one place to another, like she's got the eye for that. I don't feel like fucking with it.
Yeah. Well, the stuff that's hanging up in our living room above our couch, it took like 2 years to get that stuff hung up that we had, because it was all from our wedding and engagement photos and everything. Had all the stuff. Took almost 2 years to get it on the wall because it just didn't want to do it.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But see, like my sister likes that type of stuff. So, and again, she's really good at it.
Yeah.
So, but we're just not there yet. Because ultimately, some of the stuff you kind of have to figure out what you want to hang up and that type of stuff, though, too.
Yeah. Now, hanging all the stuff up in this room, I enjoyed, so it didn't take me but a day.
Of course, that's different.
This is stuff I wanted to look at on the walls.
But then there's shit like I ended up packing and then not sure why, because like some of the stuff that goes with it ended up in storage, and I'm like, why the fuck did I pack this in order for it to come here? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's coming together. Closet still looks like a tornado. But that's slowly getting organized though too, with all my cards and all that other kind of shit though too. So
Yeah.
that just takes fucking forever. But getting close. At some point when it's all finished, like this will be the crew that gets the tour first.
Yeah.
So anyways. I didn't mean to derail the conversation.
He's making a list. He's checking it 642 times.
If you like serial killer stuff and like learning about serial killer, I found a new YouTube. It's not new, but I mean new to me. YouTube channel with like, if this guy does this himself, like, which I believe he does, getting all like the clips and all like the doing everything chronologically, it's really well done, and it's about a lot of stuff that, again, it's not like again, you hear about like Ted Bundy, the Zodiac, all of like the big names on.
Right.
This is like a lot of other stuff. Like there's one like the Oakland County child killer.
What's the channel?
Is that the one you sent me?
It's called Ruin Road, RUIN, and then Road. And that's in the music on there. If you don't think that's like top notch music, I don't have time for you, because this is like absolute gold for like a
They're
thrill.
long.
It is.
Okay. Yeah,
It's long. They're very long though. That's the only.
It doesn't feel long though. That's the thing where
not long.
Yeah, my most of my videos are longer than most of these.
I hit an hour and 26 minutes, I think, in my last one.
I swear that one though that you sent us, me and Vinny, was like.
Well, the Oakland County child killer is 2 hours and 2 minutes, but all the other ones seem to be 30 minutes or less.
And that Oakland one was great because again,
I will be watching that I'll be watching that channel with the wife.
It is just gold. I'm like,
it's interesting that you bring that up though, Dave. So somehow I stumbled across, and I'll have to see if I can find the channel, but it focuses on the last 24 hours of a specific individual leading up to their execution. So anybody and we're not talking like just recent people though either.
Yep.
Like I feel like all the ones that I've watched have been fairly like within the last 20 years.
Okay.
But it literally goes through, I won't say hour by hour, but leading up to the execution. So like the morning before type situation, like waking up, how they were emotionally, how they were acting, like breakfast, like all that type of shit, all the way leading up to it. And they're about anywhere between 12 and 15 minutes long. So if like you've ever been interested in actually knowing what somebody who is on death row actually does the 24 hours before they get executed, it's somewhat interesting.
It would be like my everyday vlog, only I don't end with death. But yeah,
But I mean, there's even one on Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
So, and of course, like what's interesting with that is, the U.S. military handed them over to handed him over to the Iraqis. The Iraqis are the one that actually like carried out the execution.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've like Eileen Wuornos,
Eileen
Ted
Wuornos.
Bundy, McVeigh.
Did any of you watch the Oklahoma City documentary that was on Netflix?
Not yet.
You should watch it. It's like an hour and a half long, and it is really good. And obviously, majority of us were pretty young when it happened, fairly young. I don't remember all the details. So this was like a lot of new stuff and information, and it's crazy how dumb luck they got him.
Yep. I remember parts of that, but at that same time, there's so much. I won't say other big stuff, but I mean, you're just coming off the heels of OJ.
Yeah.
I think for me, Tupac was either just gotten shot and was getting out of the hospital, or I mean, it was in that time frame. So I mean, there's a lot of.
And the actual day was anniversary. I can't remember what year it was, but it was anniversary of Waco. It was the same date.
That would have been. Oh yeah, that would have been April 19th,
1995.
because
Isn't
again,
that Hitler's birthday?
It was 2 years to the date to Waco, because if Waco was 95, I'm pretty sure Oklahoma City was 97.
no, Waco was 93.
Okay.
OKC was 95.
Okay, so yeah, it was 2 years then.
Yeah, and I remember them both. Because Waco was all over the fucking news forever.
CNN. I remember my dad starting a tape at 8:00 in the morning, and I would have to shut it off at 3. And then basically, if I saw something that was worthy, watch it because it was going to get taped over at some point. But yeah, that Waco was very interested in that. Just I mean, like, go figure.
But if
There was a big Waco documentary on Netflix too that the wife and I watched. It was wild.
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure I watched that one was in multiple parts too, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
I think I
4.
watched that one.
yeah.
I think I watched that one.
Typically, Netflix either does 3-part series or they have 10-part series.
Yep.
That Making a Murderer was 10 parts. And I think the second one was as well. I watched the first. I couldn't make myself watch the second.
I normally, if you have an opportunity, go see the memorial at the in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
It is.
I've only been through there one time, and it was in the middle of the night.
It's very emotional. Like the way that they designed it and everything else, like it just it hits you in a certain way. And it would probably be no different than going to Ground Zero and seeing the memorial, from 9/11.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was the worst, terroristic act on American soil in history at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And to sit there and actually like just the chairs and the remnants of like the memory wall is still like it's very moving and it like very emotional. So and the only reason why, because like Michael, you're fairly closer. I mean, Oklahoma City for me is still almost like 5 hours, I think.
It's further away than it is for me.
So it's not a hop, skip, and a jump. Regardless, I know I'm closer because like I'm near the border of Oklahoma, but still, like it's still like a close to a 5-hour drive. And the only reason why I had the opportunity to see it is at the time I was engaged to my first wife, and we were going to Branson on like a family trip type situation because my first wife's big thing was precious moments. And so they have the chapel. Yep, they have the chapel there and everything else. And initially, that's where she wanted us to get married until we found out how much it cost.
Yeah.
But we purposely made a stop at the Oklahoma City Memorial. And like it's I can't put it into words. It's you watched it on the news, you saw it, you experienced it on the like all that type of stuff, and to actually like be there, quote unquote, at ground zero where it happened, and how they designed the memorial and everything else, it's very moving, very moving. So if you get a chance, I would recommend you take an opportunity and see it. But on to more non-somber things, because I'll be like I cried. I'm man enough to admit it.
Well, that's same with again. Our senior class went to DC, and that's been like the tradition here for I don't know, like close to probably 30 years as well.
What do you want?
Holocaust Museum. That is a kick in the taint because you ain't fucking around. Again, we didn't have cell phones back then, or we did, but it wasn't like now. I'm just like that shit. You went into like the room and they had like the video showing, and again, just it wasn't like more than 20 minutes, maybe a half hour, but it's just like again, it's everything you've seen for how long. And it's just like holy fucking it doesn't not only gonna be guys, it's not only gonna be like well-to-do guys, it's fucking everybody that was a Jew. So yeah, that one was like you came out of that like funeral of your parents or your best friend or whatever. It just oh my god. So that's any of that stuff when it's actual. You could start putting faces. You could put images to like an event. That's always tougher than just reading names. Other than like for me, when I go to like a World War II type situation, you start seeing like in Arlington, you see the whatever it would be like 1924 to 1942. Like Christ, this kid was 18. No chance to live whatever dreams they had. Just like and it's not just it's that one. It's a fucking never ending cemetery. And then not only there, you go over to France. It's over there in Germany. It's everywhere. The theater was at. So
Oddly enough, for a lot of those, their dream was to like serve their country, and they were ready to like to die for it.
yeah.
So, like my grandpa, he was 17 when he went in. He was like fudged his paperwork so he could get in to the army.
And that was a lot of them did too. It wasn't like, oh, how old are you? 18. Well, they're 16. They're 17.
Right.
They want to go over there and serve their country. So
All right, let's move away from the somber shit.
come on.
I was just about to bring up the Andrea Doria, but we'll save that for another show. No,
My pet
that's
just
for
turned
the
18.
lowest. That was for the lowest rung. So,
What were you gonna say, Benny?
Oh, I said my grandpa just turned 18 when he went to war.
Speaking of family. I'm guessing your family's good from the storm that passed through.
I was waiting. They haven't answered me yet, but I'm thinking they're good. My brother would, because he can't move his hands a lot real well, but he does the dictating to the phone and it's hysterical. He goes, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "Don't mind me." Because he said something to C and it was like something dick. And C's like, what? I said, "That's your uncle. He's got these hands work sometimes, they don't, so he talks in his phone." And he said it was something about good luck, and it's well, it translated something else.
So just as bad as your typing. In other
Yeah,
words.
it must his voice in my fingers.
Obviously runs in the family.
Yeah, God bless him. Where are we at? There we go.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a true Vinny text if we didn't get the follow-up edited version of it.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, and sometimes you don't even get that.
Yeah.
But the good thing is we've all learned how to speak Vinny. So typically we get the gist of most of it.
Yeah.
Here's the proper thing. Checking in for the third time. Yin's okay? I'll go with the YUNZ instead of YINZ today. Yuns.
Yuns
versus Yuns.
The collective.
Yeah. Yuns is singular. Yuns is plural.
That's why we use y'all, because it's all in.
Y'all do what you want, but we
Really,
use Yuns.
child.
We are the product of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, please have my hat back. Child. Oh, I see what you're doing. I see you in the camera.
I'm glad they find it funny.
Oh, they think they're very funny. I hope you get the hiccups and they hurt.
You're having an asthma attack.
My hat back now. Thank you. You got hiccups. Yeah, well, see what happens.
Pass through here. We're all good. Was bad in town. Sounds like he'd take a cart and buggy. We're going to town. So far, so good. Pittsburgh got it worse.
Okay.
So,
well, as long as they're good.
That's from my aunt and my mother connected it to hip, even though they're not blood related. So they should be doing all right.
Well, that's good to hear. All right. What's next on tap?
You want to go over the draft quick?
Quick, okay.
Go over what your team, what you thought they did. Again, it's
fairly
the draft.
Uneventful. What was there? 2 trades? 3 trades? 3 trades.
And anything that surprised you overall.
Who's the tight end that I keep hearing about that's going to be a game changer?
Tyler Warren.
There's 2 of them, I thought.
There was one that. Yeah, Tyler. That sounds right. What was the other name? I can't remember.
Holston Loveland. So that would be
Loveland went to the Bears and Warren went to the Colts.
Colts, yeah, that was that guy.
They still don't have a quarterback.
Sure they do. They've got Anthony Richardson. Come on.
We still don't have a quarterback.
Oh, come on. You're going to have Aaron Rodgers, man. Come on.
I think that ship has sailed.
I don't.
I don't either. I think he's going to be announced as our quarterback in the next few weeks.
Just because there's nowhere else he can go.
No, it's either take the year off, retire, or be a Steeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're the only ones dumb enough to take him.
Well, I thought that about Shadur too, but
Nope.
Cleveland obviously said we'll hold our beer.
Yeah.
I look at our current options with an Ohio State rookie, a
Yeah, you guys got
retread
Will Howard, didn't you?
Miami. Yeah, is that Ohio State's quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real Howard.
Yeah. And he actually, I didn't see the interview, but they said, "What are you looking forward to most about being a Steeler?" And he said, "Playing all the teams that picked a quarterback ahead of me and beating them." Which, okay, that's what you should say, or something to that effect.
Josh Rosen said that too.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Speaking of Josh, we were talking about reactions of fans, and there's that video. It was just like a top 5 reactions, and one of them were Buffalo fans wanting Josh Rosen, and they hear Josh and they get all excited, Allen, and it's like the complete 180 deflation. Little did they know.
Yeah.
Or the guy that gets upset about Patrick Mahomes being picked,
Yeah.
Or getting excited about Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, right.
That dude was taken number 2 overall.
They stole him, he says.
In that draft. It's crazy how that worked out.
Right.
But it also didn't make sense that he went that high because he only had started 10 or 11 games total since high school.
Yeah,
and
but
it was North Carolina, which isn't known for playing football unless you're Julius Peppers.
It's all about what numbers he put up in those games that he started. That's what's interesting more so in recent drafts, that some of these players.
I mean, Justin Fields, he had one amazing college season.
And the Packers took Jordan Love after he had the shitty college season.
But that's what I'm getting at. There's no rhyme or reason for anything when it comes to picking a quarterback.
No.
Well, yeah, let's take the guy that went 8-5 at Cal. With our 21st pick or 25th pick or whatever it was.
Oh, that was a big to do. Him just sitting there, pick after pick, kind of, the camera. I remember that Aaron Rodgers draft.
Oh yeah, me too. I was really freaking excited because I'm like, how many other times do you get a chance to get the guy that everybody was 50-50 split on who was going to go number 1? Yep. And he falls all the way to the mid-20s. It's yeah, of course you take him.
Well, and Brady Quinn, too. And it's when's the last time a Notre Dame quarterback has done anything besides, Joe Montana?
Joe Montana
was the last one.
And everybody's like, oh, they should be taking – no, why?
Montana's
Rick Meyer.
last one.
Rick Meyer had a stellar career.
Yeah.
I mean, I could say he's a product of that Seattle team because that team just everything sucked up there.
Yeah, they were terrible.
It's he didn't. You watch some of that video of his first couple of your highlights.
Yeah,
throws he has no business making, and throws he's what are you thinking? Okay, Benny Blades or somebody catches it out of nowhere. And then you're throwing a crossing route that sails 15 yards over the dude's head. What? A catapult? What are we throwing here? I mean, it's a 12-yard pattern, and you're throwing it 30 yards deep. So,
was he still the quarterback when Joey Galloway came along?
Yeah. Well, it would have been 2 years. It would have been 2 years later. So maybe.
Yeah, Galloway was 95.
Okay.
So yeah, he would have been there, and then if not,
that was the first pro that I felt came out of the Ohio Valley. That he went to Bel Air High School, and so it was we didn't play them in high school or anything, but it felt close enough that he's a local guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
This was the first year, like Vinny will know what the WIPIO is, but like it's the Western PA High School Football Conference. It's like the first year in a long time that no player was drafted that had played in the WIPIO. A couple of pit guys went, but they didn't play high school football here. And that's kind of a rarity. Usually get at least, to not get one, it's odd. So it made the news.
There's a collector on Instagram. It's LGPH something or another. He's got some banger friggin' football cards. If you don't follow him, I'll get the name here in a second. But he put that same thing up, Bob, and I texted my brother. He didn't answer me back. My middle brother. He sort of smoke. And I'm like, hey, nobody from the WPIL? And crickets. So
Yeah, from my team's perspective, nothing surprising, honestly. Like them, I take that back. Drafting a defensive back in the first round was kind of interesting, but as we talked on the show last week with Brad, it was one of those in which Denver had a rare opportunity to take the best guy that they felt on the board. And I think that's really what they did because, like, I forget his name, but kid out of Texas.
Barron.
Thank you. Which, I don't have an issue with anybody, coming out of Texas being drafted, especially in the first round. But he could also play safety. So, that's safety is it's like a glaring hole, but at the same time, it's like they also plug their needs in their later rounds. They got their running back, they got a tight end, so they stuck true to form. They drafted their needs, and the fact that they actually took what they felt was the best player on the board at that point in time at the 20th pick. Not disappointed with how they drafted. I'd be interested to see what they got from a grade wise, though, since you got the paper there, Dave.
Well, they got a B.
Probably. I was going to say what, B minus.
Most of them don't have the worst is Miami, but then they've got the Browns I for incomplete.
I think the only great thing I saw, the Packers were given a C.
And see, like here, it's like a B plus.
That's how I felt. I felt really good about what they did.
Yeah, I mean that.
They got beef. They got real big guys on the offensive line,
which is something they needed.
And they got a wide receiver, and then they took another wide receiver in the third, whose tape looks incredible.
And he's tall. You don't have that. You haven't had a tall receiver there since like Lazard, but you haven't had a guy that can go up and like Lazard was more of like a seam guy, almost like a hybrid tight end.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was a stretch tight end, is how I felt about Lazard.
So it's like to get somebody that can high point and like maneuver in the red zone where you've got, it seems like everybody's a little like a Welker or bigger, but I mean it's more of a crossing pattern and like a fly route. I mean, you're not doing anything where like Love, throw it up. We're playing 500, throw it up. So yeah, I like what they did too. I mean, there wasn't many drafts, I don't think, that were stupid. Atlanta trading a next year number 1 to get back in the first.
That was bad.
I'm like, yeah, that reminds me of like the Jamal Lewis trade. Like the year before when they traded, I don't know what it was to trade up. And Baltimore was the recipient for the 2000 first round pick, and then that ended up being I think the Jamal Lewis pick. I mean, I know that it was a thing, and then
There you go, Vinny. I sent you the profile URL. That way you can send it to Bob.
The Jacksonville trading up to get Travis Hunter. I can't believe there weren't more people that were just sort of like, we like what they did, but that's a lot to give up.
It was
It
a
was.
ton to give up for a guy who is real special, but can he be special enough on one side of the ball to make it worth it?
We all thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be a really super solid his first year, and he was good at times, but
Yeah.
and he's playing with a better quarterback, in my opinion, than Trevor Lawrence.
Correct.
So, and I don't organization. Again, I think it's still better run than Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's just a fucking
Shit
dumpster.
show.
But yeah, that's a lot to give up. It's like, well, you swapped here and you swapped. Well, you gave up a first rounder, and it's not going to be. It's not like Kansas City giving up a first rounder.
No, you're
Right.
giving up a mid to high pick because you're going to be bad again.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
That's why, to me, the teams that needed quarterbacks this year, you were better off getting the best player available because you're not going to be good again next year. Whatever quarterback you get isn't going to make you a playoff team. This isn't a Jaden Daniels situation. He wasn't in this draft. Nowhere near it.
You didn't have last year.
Yeah, so just be bad again and pick in the top 3 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like your quarterback options are at least a little bit better next year than what they were this year. I mean, there's speculation that who was it the Giants picked up?
Jack Dart.
Thank you. You know, a lot of, at least from what I was watching, because I was watching it on NFL channel, streaming on Peacock or whatever. They were kind of saying that them taking Dart, they felt as though he may be more NFL ready than like Cam Ward. And I'm like, it's all about, a lot of this has to do with the system, right? Like, just because you think that he's the best player at the position, does he work for your system? And unfortunately, a lot of these young kids don't work for the various NFL systems in which they're drafted in.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, well,
You gotta change the system.
Their thought there was prior to Daniel Jones, Dable's thing was being a quarterback whisperer. He was a good judge of quarterback talent, and it just didn't work out with Daniel Jones. But I don't think they needed to trade back into the first to get him.
No.
That's where I wouldn't have. I wouldn't make. If they honestly feel that he's their guy, then okay. But that was only going to be what 5-6 picks later. They were going to be picking again.
Yeah, nobody at the end, like the ass end of the first round, needed a quarterback.
No, and I don't think the front end of the second round anybody was going to draft him.
And that's always what we've said, though. It's like you get that fifth-year option if you get the first one.
You do.
That's the benefit. I mean, that's the ultimate benefit.
And then
But
there's so much, because you heard it. They're all these guys were like Ole Miss guys. Like Joe Judge, I don't know if he went there or whatever, the GM or the Dable, that was his guy because he sees like Josh Allen in him. He can take off and run and barrel down the middle of the field, and he sort of has a fearlessness that if it's not there, a lot of the times it's not going to be like, oh, you got to stay and go through your progression. It's like, well, if you see the lane open up, fucking run. But I mean, like a bunch of the front office was all about Dart because of like the lineage of where he was at. Old Miss. That seemed to be like big deal for them. And again, I like Dart. That's the guy I liked. Shedeur, he's got talent, but he's got just so much baggage. That's your issue when you have the fucking circus come to town. You want to see
I saw most
bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, all the extra outside stuff was going to be a nightmare.
Ooh.
Because at the end of the day, he's not athletic enough to play behind a bad line. And when if his first or second read isn't there, it's going to go real bad.
Yeah.
And you read so much about him like improvising.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not Mahomes.
No.
But his ego makes him think he is.
100%. 100%.
That's a big problem. And
that when you don't take responsibility for, well, what about this interception? It's like, well, that's not my fault. Well,
yeah.
Okay, then you've literally just, like they said, there's probably about half the teams that just took him off their board after like that type of interview. Like I would fuck that. If you're not gonna own up to
accept responsibility.
It's not tough. It's, hey, I thought I saw something there. It wasn't there. That's on me. I got to be better. Instead of, well, no, that's not my fault. I get to deal with that in summer softball. You shouldn't be dealing with that at the NFL fucking draft. So,
did Gruden interview Shedeur?
I don't think so.
That tells me something. As goofy as
I would imagine Dion was going to keep him anywhere off of a screen that was recording him talking about football plays.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a point there.
I don't think
Dion
he's
had so much talent, and he should realize his boy isn't him. You know, he's good, but he's not. They don't make Deion Sanders and Bose. They don't just shit those out every year. You know, they just don't. It's like at work, they go, well, I need this. I said, well, what do you want me to do? Shit it out right here for you? What do you want to do? And they used to look at me because, that really makes sense. I'm like, see, it's a simple analogy.
Yeah. Well, like I said last week, Deion Sanders is LeVar Ball with talent.
Yeah.
That's they're the same thing. They support their kids all the way, which is awesome. That's how you should be as a parent. However,
but
you're going to cause damage.
Well, did any of y'all see that Shiloh ended up freaking firing Dion as his agent?
And hired Drew Rosenhaus.
And he ended up getting picked up.
Yeah, by Tampa.
So it's like
Tampa also picked up the 500-pound lineman.
I saw some of the I don't know if Instagram had something like weekly reports or the NFL or Tampa Bay of him running the 40 and then doing like the whatever is like 30 some close to 40.
225, yeah.
Like, and again, he's not like done with it, and then you fucking have to have a forklift and carry him out because he's dead. I mean, he's getting up, and again, you're going to be tired after that, no matter who you are. But
decent vertical. He's fucking athletic for that size, man.
Hell yeah!
I'm just
major athletic.
Yeah, because it was something about like the tush push, like the whatever it was, something like that.
Tush push hinder type situation.
Yeah, whatever I sent to Paul last night, I think it was.
Yeah, put him in at nose tackle and freaking not happening.
I remind you of Escalade from the old N1 tape tour. Escalade was close to 500 pounds, but that dude could move on a basketball court.
Oh my god, I haven't heard that name ever.
Oh.
So I was gonna go with it's not. I think we said it too. He's not like the Billy Bob from.
Yeah.
Where you just stand up and you're there. It's like, no, this guy's gonna push back.
No.
So
there's a great N1 documentary on Netflix.
Push Terminator.
That's what it was.
That dude is he's a friggin' monster.
Watching that 40, that's like insane. You're 5'3" something and you're 460.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm trying to imagine like King Kong Bundy,
Yeah.
a one-man gang, like running like that. But I'm like, Bam
Butterbean.
Bam Bigelow, yes. Bam Bam Bigelow was more athletic, but he wasn't that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for him, athletics and speed are like. I mean, I could never sit there and say that Bam Bam was not athletic for a big guy because that motherfucker could move.
Mhm.
But to put that in the same sentence as him being fast,
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the athletic and like, because again, you
super.
see big guys out there, and I mean, they were lumbering and fucking plodding, and it looked like a GTA Vice City or something getting released at Best Buy. I mean, that's how quick they moved. I mean, so
Yeah, that guy was moving, man. That was nuts to see that.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see if they can make him into a serviceable player.
Well, that I'm sure he'll drop some weight.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll beef up a little bit from a muscular perspective. And you could potentially seeing him taking on like 2 linemen.
well, yeah, even if he
Like-
drops 100 pounds, I mean, you're still
He's still big for the position.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could take the double team and have somebody else freaking, come up from behind him and like literally.
Hey, now,
get
watch the language.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I don't know.
You know what I mean. But to sit there and have enough force in the middle of the line, it's going to be awfully hard for your tush push your quarterback sneak to actually be as effective as what it has always been.
But there again, too, I mean, who does the push push?
Philly.
That's it. That's the only team that's actually like
Good at it.
and consistently well. It's like another
Well,
team might sort of
that
do it with Buffalo, but
that has a lot to do though with Jalen Hurts though too. Like
yeah,
he's able to kind of finagle himself and like squeeze into small spaces though too. Like, you know what I mean? Can kind of contort himself and
so I mean, it's not like everybody in the league's got some sort of sneak, tush push, some kind of whatever. It's like this guy's going to be like the ultimate ender. It's not like the final boss or something that.
yeah,
So
but on the flip side though, you have to think about why wouldn't more teams be trying to figure out and master that play call? Because what Philly's completion rate on that was what? High 90%?
oh, I'm sure it's above 80 at least. So I mean,
So and granted, like less than a yard or less or whatever. So it's not like you're having to gain a lot of ground. But how in the world would more teams not watch enough tape to figure out, okay, why are they so successful and why can't anybody else be the same way? Even if they're within 10%. Granted, like you have to get into those third down, short yardage situations in order to be beneficial, or fourth down for that matter. And if your team sucks and you're not in that position, then like who gives a shit, right?
yeah, if you're the Raiders and you can't get 5 yards on first and goal at the 5, I mean, what the hell does it matter?
Very true.
Yeah, Chargers, I didn't mind. Again, always nervous with a running back. But there again, they've got 2 bookends, which I've been clamoring for years, for Slater and Alt. Always like another D tackle. They lost, I think, Puna Ford. So I mean, you have, and then you lose Bosa. I mean, you want to have somebody as a rusher. That would have been where I would have probably looked. But them taking it back, I don't mind. If Tyler Warren was still there, I would have loved that. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but I think they took Gadsden's kid later on.
I feel like I remember that.
And I was very excited about that because that's more of a Gates type tight end, not the down lineman tight end. I don't know who else they took. I know, Trey Morris, was that the character? Somebody from another Ole Miss, like a receiver, I believe. Yeah, Trey Harris. So I mean, again, but they're, and then it says there, because they're down the line with a C plus. Lose Asante Samuel Jr. You haven't re-signed him. It doesn't look like he's coming back. Cornerback would have been somewhere I'd have looked. Maybe trade down with the Giants there, and you still could have got Will Johnson in the second round, and then another pick or two. So, but again, I never expect the Chargers to do well in anything. So
It seemed to me like Baltimore absolutely killed the draft.
Brad
They just every year they just get the good players.
The first 3 picks are stupid.
Yes. It's like, how do teams keep letting them do that?
Because I had Starks going, I think, to Miami. And he goes to Baltimore at whatever, 27. Mike Green, who I love, is an edge rusher.
Joey really wanted him in the second round.
Like, that guy is badass.
Mm-hmm.
And you get him at whatever, 54, 55. And then Henry Jones Jr., a tackle from LSU, who really hasn't played the position much. So, and it's not like there's a lack of talent on that coaching staff. So, I mean, again, you can coach these guys up to even being quasi-serviceable, and they're outperforming their draft position. And they got the best kicker because Justin Tucker likes massages like Deshaun Watson likes massages. So,
yeah,
happy endings for everybody except the masseuse. So, I don't know. Every year, Brad and I were texting, and I said, if they get Starks here, and he's like, I told you it. I said, I know. We're in agreement, Brad. We're in agreement. And then I said, Mike Green in the fucking second. And it's like every fucking year.
Yep.
And I said, I know.
Every year, the guys that every year it's just like, oh, of course that guy's going to the Ravens. Why wouldn't he? No, it happens every year. And it's always defensive studs.
Yeah. I mean, they can't do anything on offense, but
no.
And even Lamar, they trade back up in the first and take him right at the end. And
yeah, because he was number 32, wasn't he? No.
It's like, take a flyer on him, and he's done okay.
Yeah.
Except his choice of, like, headwear when he's got cold weather. I don't need to see the little kid snowsuit sort of thing with the little circle of the face in there. But
yeah. Yeah, at this point, he should be used to the cold. He's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't managed to get over the hump to win the Super Bowl with him yet. And it's going to be really difficult. You're going to have to beat Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes to do it.
Yeah, because I don't think Cincinnati's done enough. They're playing NFL blitz.
Yeah, it's like we're going to hike the football, and then he's immediately going to throw it 40 yards in the air, 60 yards downfield, hoping somebody catches it. Because if he holds on to it any longer, he's getting destroyed. Because they have not fixed that offensive line.
No. No, and you got 50, 40, and 30. You're like 120, 130 million between three players.
Yeah. And they still haven't done anything. They still haven't signed Hendrickson yet.
No, he's still sort of in limbo. And they did the most Cincinnati thing of like 20 years ago. You take Shamar Stewart, the guy that's got again most upside, but he's had like 6 sacks during his college career. Not a year.
No, the
career.
total. Yeah.
So again, some teams just will never get out of their own way.
No.
Cleveland.
Unfortunately, it feels like the Bears are finally getting out of their own way. They've done everything right the offseason and in the draft. My shit, they're probably going to be good.
Yeah, this will be.
And they've got a legit coach.
Finally,
or a legit football mind. We'll see if it works out as a head coach, but he seems like he will.
Yeah, who is it?
Ben Johnson.
The guy that's the OC from Detroit. So you don't have Nagy or you don't have Esterflubes or whatever his name is.
Eberflus.
All these goofballs that are. No, Ben Johnson.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's who I would like as my coach.
In case y'all are talking about Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, I like LaFleur, but I think that he gets real small at the end of games. And in big, important spots, he comes up short. He gets way too tentative in play calling, and he goes away from what's working. And I just don't feel like that's something that Ben Johnson would do.
No. Them getting Luther Burden, that was...
Yeah, that hurt my feelings.
Because that's a guy I had mentioned, Brad had talked about. Quarterback play led the draft stock going down because 2 years ago that guy was fucking everywhere.
Well, did you hear about after they drafted him?
Mm-mm.
Jameson Williams called up Ben Johnson and said, "You got another me."
And Ben Johnson said, "I hope not. I hope he's better."
Yeah. I think he's going to be very good.
Yeah, that, and he's used to playing in shit weather, being Missouri and.
Yeah.
And what do you clubs on the bottom think about Pittsburgh's draft?
B plus.
Good.
I think that kid from Ohio State might turn out to be decent, like a secret.
I don't mind. I don't mind the running back pick. I don't know much about him, but 3rd round running back from Iowa, 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6'1", 6'2", 225 pounds. I mean, All American.
The impressive thing about him is the fact that you knew Iowa was going to hand him the ball every play, and he still did all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was very good.
So, and from everything I've read or little blurbs on Harmon, It's big down tackle. Cam Ward's getting old. I mean, sounds like it was a good move. I don't know about the middle picks, and I know very little. Again, college football. I don't follow it like you guys. I'm not as invested in the draft, but it's I don't know, man. Like identifying talent and then like it translating to the league. It's just such a hard thing. That's why they're the pros, and yeah, it hurt to see. And I say all that, but I always hear how well Baltimore did in the draft, and like having them in the division. It's like our irrelevance in the division is slowly like becoming more and more reality each year, with just kind of being okay with mediocrity. We didn't have a losing season, so like that now is like the baseline for how good of a season it was. When ultimately, I'd say Steeler Nation as a whole has been disappointed, and everybody, Mike Tomlin would get a job tomorrow if the Steelers let him go, but that'll never happen. But that's like the Yinzer fan base, just like it's all Tomlin's fault. And I don't know how good of an X's and O's coach he is, but I think there's a lot better, but he does. The players like him. I don't know.
That's what I think everybody.
So we'll see.
Because your front office never fires anyone.
No.
Yeah, 3 coaches since 1969. I mean, yeah, that's a cool thing, I guess. But
if you're winning football games, but if you're winning football games, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I don't. 9 and 8 seasons just aren't cutting it for like the fan base. So
I get it, but I get it. But on the flip side, most of your ownership, unless it's to the point to where there's a slow decline, is when they're willing to make a change.
Yeah, like the Penguins. Kudos to the Penguins. I mean, 3 years not making the playoffs. See a Mike Sullivan, no matter how beloved he may have been.
And yeah, that's the thing. You get to the playoffs, but what do?
Right.
Out in the first
Lose
round.
big.
Yeah, that's been the frustration with all the Rodgers years was we're winning MVPs, winning all these games, getting number 1 seeds, not winning the Super Bowl. So you're always picking at the back end of the draft, and it's just brutal. The only time they had high picks was when Rodgers would get hurt and was out for a couple months because the backups couldn't play football.
Yeah.
Because you had those years when we were rolling out Brett Hundley and Deshaun Kaiser. Those were ugly.
Wow, that reminds me of the Duck Hodge year for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Or you had for Green Bay, you had Tim Doyle.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah, when you're putting in.
And Boyle managed to get signed by who?
Detroit.
Was it Detroit?
Detroit, and I think the Jets.
I was going to say the Jets. He became Rodgers' backup in New York.
How serendipitous.
Yeah.
Where hopefully if Rodgers does go to Pittsburgh, that's going to be the first thing. It's like, you're not getting all your fucking flunkies and lackeys. No.
They've all retired now.
Yeah. They should have retired before they went to where they're following him along.
And they probably would have, but teams offered them money.
That's true.
Lazard's like, yeah, I'll play for 3 years, $44 million or whatever it was.
Yeah. Gonna pay me 12, 15 million a year?
Hell yes, I'm showing up.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
When probably nobody else was willing to sign him for like a 1 year, $5 million deal.
Right. And the Packers got him for nothing because Jacksonville released him.
Yeah, that was one where I didn't. When he came out of Iowa State, I was like, how is he not like at least a 5th round guy?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wanted. I'm like, dude, big numbers at Iowa State. It's like, do something, and nope. And then couldn't stick with Jacksonville, where it's literally since Jimmy Smith and McCardle, the worst receivers of all time have trotted through there. And
I liked the big, tall, white guy. Was it Matt Jones?
Matt Jones. Yeah.
former quarterback from Arkansas.
Yeah, I remember him. I liked him. But didn't his kind of – I feel like there was a story towards the end of his career where he was just like kind of living in his car.
Yes.
That sounds right.
He was
I
a short.
I feel like there were drugs and alcohol involved, and he was in a car.
That is correct.
He was a short print in 2005 Prestige.
Was he really?
Yep.
And the year before, I think Reggie was William.
And he was wasn't he crazy tall, like 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, Jones was, and then you had to think Williams that was like about the same 6'3", 6'4". You had Northcutt, then Torrey Holt went there, and Mike Sims Walker, and John Broussard, and it was just like all these receivers, and like, nobody could get the ball to them, or they couldn't catch it, or
and they're the ones who wound up with the Michigan quarterback.
I can picture him.
McCarty?
Yeah. Huh?
McCarty?
No.
Damn it.
Denard Robinson.
Denard Robinson.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, yeah, they weren't going to play him at quarterback. He's going to.
No,
be
they
like
got him for receiver.
Yeah, and it's just like, just because people are athletic doesn't mean you can sit there and be like, let's like build a player. I could be at corner. Scott Frost, you can't play quarterback, but let's put
I know you've been throwing the ball for the last 5 years in college. You want to try catching them in the NFL?
Eric Crouch. What about you? It's like, come on. But at least they went away from when Tom Osborne retired. That was bad and good because then that pretty much killed Nebraska. But it also elevated their quarterback play from the 1930s to like the 20th century or 21st century. So
I remember Eric Crouch was a camp invite for Green Bay.
And that was about it.
Yeah. That was his NFL experience. I feel like.
That was enough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a strange draft because it just seemed like it was so top heavy, and it wasn't even that the top was that great. It's just after about 2 rounds worth of picks, everybody's kind of the same.
Yeah. You were going to pick. You want a D tackle? Well, there might be 6 on the board. What's your favorite of the 6? You could make an argument for any of them.
Yep.
It wasn't like, oh, this guy's a good, whatever, 2 technique, a 3 technique. It was like, they're basically the same.
Mm-hmm. I did like the Packers drafting the kid out of Texas that stayed in the green room for 3 days. That Goodell actually came back out to announce him.
Okay.
That was it was the 4th round pick. I'm blanking on his name.
Earl Campbell?
Yeah. Wow. And there it is.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think it lists it here. Yeah, because all we got for the Packers. is
Baron Sorrell.
Okay. The DN?
Yeah, edge out of Texas. He came to the draft and was in the green room, and he was the last guy standing, and it was a day 3 pick. And because, I mean, he was super upbeat, congratulating everybody that was getting drafted and everything. And he was the last one remaining. And Roger Goodell made it a point to come out. And he just wanted to hear his name called in person.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I know some people, because I know that was discussed at work. It's like, what would you rather have? Be at home with like your team or be there and have that experience? And I'm like, either way, I mean, you're not gonna sway me one way or another. If a guy really doesn't like the crowds, well, why are you playing football?
Yeah.
I mean, that sort of negates that, but it's just like I get like that moment to sort of have the spotlight for yourself. But in the same sense, I get the moment where, guess what? I'm just sitting at home and I'm eating good food and I don't have to worry about.
I heard the Joe Thomas draft day story. Have you heard that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
His agent or somebody kept saying, you need to be there, you need to be there. He's like, I'm busy that day. Like he went fishing with his dad or something.
Yeah, he was. It was a fishing trip with his dad. He goes, I've already had this planned. I'm not. Stop calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and when they tried to push, like, well, everybody's gonna, your stock's gonna drop. Everybody's gonna think you're a prima donna. He's like, now I know I'm definitely not coming.
Yeah. And they said that the last time they called him, they said, it's a really good marketing opportunity and everything. He's like, I'm an offensive lineman. There is not going to be any marketing. And all he did was become a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
One of the best offensive linemen, period. And unfortunately was on all bad teams.
Yeah.
He retired, and then they made the playoffs the next year with Baker. I'm pretty sure it was with Baker.
Yeah,
I saw an interview with him where they put him on the spot to see how many quarterbacks he could name that started for the Browns over his career.
Oh man, that's mean.
Yeah, that's mean.
Because it was more than one a year.
Yeah, seeing that jersey of whoever it was, a coach.
Yep.
And then just the names down the back.
It's wild.
It looks like you're from some like Victorian era, and you've got like the train or the whatever the thing on the back of your coat is like.
And what's
the factory of sadness?
What is their quarterback room right now? It's Deshaun Watson, it's Kenny Pickett, Shedeur Sanders, and Joe Flacco.
And Dylan Gabriel.
Oh yeah, and they drafted Gabriel as well. Oof.
Well, it's like Najee went to Chargers and then they drafted a freaking running back. I'd be like, seriously, bitches, what the hell did you just do to me?
Yeah.
Well, for him too, I'd be like, come on now, you're not gonna get like 400 carries out there. Yeah. We've seen your body of work. We know what you're capable of. It's not like you're gonna come out here and all of a sudden rush 20 times for 180 and 3 touchdowns a game.
One of my favorite. No, go ahead.
Him in a timeshare is probably best.
Yeah, I think so too. One of my favorite draft reactions will always be Clay Matthews. When the Packers drafted Rashawn Gary, they immediately gave him jersey number 52. And Clay goes, the body ain't even cold yet.
Yeah.
Take that discount double check.
Yeah.
Did you
But
see
Gary-
Warren Moon
Yeah, Warren
walked
Moon
his ass in
came.
there and gave him? That's dude. That guy. I don't know if that kid realized what just occurred. You know how
Right.
freaking good Warren Moon was.
That's the sad thing. Most people don't.
No.
My grandfather used to say that is the best quarterback I've ever seen. He said, "Why can't let's be before we got Ben?" But he goes, "We have Bubby. They have
This
that."
was the best.
Bubby Brister.
Then who did we have? We had Bobby Brister, then we had Neil O'Donnell, and he despised Bubby. He could take Neil O'Donnell. He's got a cantaloupe for a head. He's an idiot. I remember watching that Super Bowl with him.
Oh my God, it was a massacre.
And
Was it
what
Larry
year was
Brown?
that?
Larry Brown.
95.
That was 90. Okay, that's what I thought. It was 95. And he was, oh my God. I never heard, he almost said the F word, and I never heard him say the F word in my life. He's like, what the front refrigerator, friggin' refrigerator. He was so pissed. He's like, who the hell was he throwing that to? Oh,
Because then you're Tom Zach and then Cordell and
yeah.
Well, it's so funny. I just watched it was a Pittsburgh comedian, a local guy. It was a roast of Merrill Hodge from like the mid '90s, and Bubby was there on stage, and he said, Bubby Brister, how's it feel to be the 14th best Steeler quarterback since 1988? And like he's like, you're above Mike Tomzak, but below Cordell Stewart. Not necessarily a good spot. Yeah, those were some years for sure.
And I would argue Tomzak was better.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Jim Miller, wasn't he a quarterback?
I can't remember.
Tommy Maddox.
Yeah, Tommy Gunn.
Kent Graham at one point. Ooh.
yeah, there's some very lean years there.
Yeah, until we got Ben, we were just trash. We were good trash at some points. I mean, some of the players to come through are, Debo was out there somewhere, and somebody hands him 5 PSA cards. You see this, Bob?
Mm-mm.
So he hands Debo 5 cards. He goes, which one of these guys would be hard to sack? None of them. And just rolls. I met him in person when my brother was playing basketball. It was Teachers versus the Steelers. Kiesel was there, and freaking Kiesel was a monster size-wise. But the Adonis body, if you had to compare him to a Greek god, that's what you call. He had a cut-off shirt, and it was like he bumped in and I was, hi, and he's like, he puts his hand out, so I shake his hand. He goes, I'm James Harrison. I'm like, yes, you are. Judas Priest. And he was probably 2.5, 3 inches shorter than me. They said he was 5'10, so I would say he was about 5'10. But he was a monster, just an absolute monster.
Still
but
is
nicest guy in the world to me.
Yeah, I remember somebody making the analogy of like being in a room with him. It felt like, if you were ever in a situation where you came across like a pit bull without a collar on it, like whose dog is that? Like you have to kind of keep an eye on it out of the corner of your eye. Don't don't act like he's there, but be aware of him because he just had that crazed look in his eye. I don't
No
know.
sudden movements. No sudden movements.
Yeah, right.
He was there.
I remember Romanowski. My dad had heard something about him. Like he started hating He said he started hating the other team Wednesday, and then by like Sunday, it was just like he was able to get to that place where he just a mean dude on the field, as we know.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. I'll have a card of him in my collection.
Yeah.
I want an impeccable master strokes. Like it matches the Kevin Green that I have.
Which
Nice.
one did I get you, Steve? Romanowski. Was that out of Immaculate?
I don't remember. You gave me a few Romanowskis.
Pro set platinum.
Pro set platinum. Yeah.
I was sitting here putting spreadsheets and shit together, trying to keep track of Christmases. So I got Bob stuff, and I'm like, did I just get in the whole run or something? And I'm like, son of a bitch, I did. I was like, I'm missing one. I said, oh shit, it's the 101. I said, I love you, Bob, but I don't love you that much.
Thanks.
I've gotten you a few 101s, but those, I don't know how many.
You see the one like, oh, somebody else got him the 101 last year.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What was it last year? We got it between you and me. It was 11 of them, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Maybe
It seemed like more.
it did.
That was the time deprivation that was causing your brain to malfunction.
You thought you were like I was like in a glitch, just saying one of one over and over, but no, they were all individual ones. Yeah.
That card from Asia, everyone but the card from Asia. Think again, Bob. That's a 101 too. Really?
Look, turn it over.
They're sneaky out that sometimes. But I have them all in one place now, so it's on my to-do list to like. Well, I told Lois wrong. Like, there was a dude. So Austin Meadows is now like has his own turf company, like treating and taking care of turf, right? Like he has an Instagram company page. And he's put on like 30 pounds. You know, he's still big, but he's not in like ball shape. So I was just looking down through a lot of positive comments and, you know, it's good to see you doing okay, blah, blah, blah. And there was one guy on there who had a nice thing to say, but then he had like a by the way, or, you know, P.S. According to tradingcarddatabase.com, I'm your number one collector. Now, so I heard that and I was like, or I read that and I'm like, now I'm forced to upload my collection into that. So
make him pay, Bob. I will help you. David, sound the sirens of Gondor.
And I'll have to go back and comment. Recheck your stature.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, if you aren't already by the end of this Christmas, you most definitely will be.
Well,
yeah.
I think
you'll be freaking close. I'm making a list. I'm checking it 612 times.
It's only April.
Yep.
Well,
I have
like,
slow
to roll.
Dave only touched on.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, because Vinny and I saw everything.
Yeah.
Leading up to Christmas last year.
And
Maybe
believe it,
get a nice Swift.
not everything was spent.
No, and I don't even think it was half that you got, Bob.
Maybe like between a quarter and a third.
Oh, geez.
The new strategy is I got to hide everything on ComC. So that's a major marketplace. Now, I get more and more friggin' package. She put a tracker on my ass. I kid you not. Like, you know how you put the calendar, the thing you do, Steve? What is that? Informed delivery?
Yes.
She goes, "You got 52 packages in 1 week." I said, "It's for Christmas." I don't give a shit. She
They
goes,
fuck,
52
they fuck
packages.
your
What are you
Amazon.
buying?
Fuck
I'm
your
like,
Amazon.
I love informed delivery.
I do, because it goes to my counter too, and I can cut off the mail, and she don't pay attention to it. I'm gonna figure out how to shut it off on her phone. What?
I think I'm gonna go get a PO box. That way I can skip eBay authentication from now on.
Is that a workaround?
Yeah, if you have a PO box, the stuff does not go to eBay authentication. They send it straight to you.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yep.
So on a since we're talking Christmas, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but so that's all the shit from Christmas. And I finally had a chance to audit everything and update my spreadsheet. Now I've got to audit the TD collection and integrate it because that's typically how this works. I audit and integrate at the same time because a crazy motherfucker down that way has a tendency to blow shit up. But I just looked at the checklist. I'm 109 cards shy of 3,000 unique.
Wow.
How many?
109.
Duly
You don't
noted.
have the updated spreadsheet. And if I'm being honest with you, like start checking with Dave because I love you. Do not be offended by this. Since you don't know football as well as you do other sports, you have a tendency to take what somebody puts in the description as gospel, and it's not.
I have learned that. So I cross-reference and I reference Dave. Guess what? I did it today. So ha motherfucker. There's
Yes,
a
but
second
ha ha ha
F
ha
word,
ha.
too.
Here's the thing.
Sorry, Dad.
You don't
That's
have
two in
the
one episode.
you don't have the updated spreadsheet. So how do you know you're not
I
buying the
have
same
my
stuff?
own with all the shit on it. So I update it too.
So why the fuck didn't you send it to me when I asked you for the one that you did for last year? You would have saved me a shit ton of time.
Because I highlighted it and I forget to code the highlights. I'm a color coder. And I thought blue was coming in, bought it but coming in, and then puce was I think I'm gonna get it, but I'm not sure.
You
So
know
my
how
color
much
code went to shit.
you know how much
You got to make a
time
legend.
Yeah, I'm working on
right?
that now.
You know how much time I spent trying to figure out that fucking leaf metal shit?
Oh
Oh,
God.
dude, it's like Bob when I got him that stuff from that anniversary, and it was like,
Okay,
this is to 99, this to
but
99.
but
There was so many freaking
that's
cards to 99, it was ridiculous.
that's a little bit easier. With that leaf metal shit, like you're having to assume that you know that they're going to call this one laser or this one prismatic or this one whatever. Like that's honestly the main reason why I wanted it is for the freaking leaf metal shit because I'm sitting there going there's 61 fucking parallels for 2024 leaf metal. And there's no rhyme or reason. There's like 4 different ones numbered to 8, 4 different ones to 7, and you're going, okay, what the fuck is this one?
Well, they're not all written
Speaking of
down
leaf-
yet, but you're about halfway to your goal. Out of those 109, you're good.
I'm moving again before the end of the year, so you're not getting my new address.
Have you guys looked at the new leaf metal pop culture that just released in the last week?
No.
They got fucking Mel Gibson to sign Braveheart cards.
No shit.
Ooh.
Yes. And they're numbered out of
impressive.
100. He has 2 of them. One is
That's
kind of, yeah,
interesting.
I will own at least one of the 2, maybe both of them. I'm watching them right now. They're like I said, they're numbered out of 100. They're selling, and they're on card. And they're selling
Wow.
they're selling right around 4 to 450, somewhere in that range. So I will
for numbered to 100.
Yes. That's the only parallel.
That's still nuts that they're good. Granted, I get the significance.
Yeah. And he also has sticker autographs in the product where they've done duels with him and Danny Glover for Lethal Weapon.
Oh, now see, that's
I was just going to say
go
that.
for.
They're very cool. I'm curious. I've got one on my watch
that'd
list
be
right now
cool.
just to see what it sells for. But I know there's another one that a buddy of mine's going after, but I want to own one as well, so I'm waiting. The one he's going after is a 101. It's a dual autograph of Ben Stiller and Brett Favre from There's Something About Mary.
No shit.
Yep.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm like, I want one of those. But yeah, the new, I think it's like Pop Century or whatever it is. The checklist is incredible.
So they were stockpiling shit leading up to this release potentially.
Yeah, and I knew Mel Gibson had done did a signing last year, and it was very expensive. It was like $500 and up. So he must have got in on that, which is I feel how he does most of these things is he gets in on those private signings that they do at conventions.
Probably.
But yeah, as soon as I saw the first Mel Gibson Braveheart one, I'm like, well, that's definitely going to be in the collection. It's just going to be how much it's going to cost me.
Yeah, and I saw Mahomes is signing for Panini again.
Is he really?
Yep.
Hmm.
I don't know for how long. But, I mean, like, wrong time to do that, dude. Because, like, unless Panini has NCAA for, like, Texas Tech, how are you going to release Mahomes autos?
Yeah.
Because they won't have either license before long.
Panini points.
Yeah.
Panini points.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens when it all goes down because there were a lot of exclusive Panini guys.
Yep.
So
I mean, like for football for 2024, the rookie crop for football, Fanatics got all the big guys.
Yes.
Except for JJ and Penix. Yeah.
But everybody else they got year prior to that, they did too as well because they got CJ Stroud. They got CJ Stroud. They got Will Levis. All the quarterbacks didn't have autographs in the products.
Yep.
And I would say it crushed them, but the shit still sold.
The parallels and everything else, there's still value there because rookie cards still hold the value, but it just goes to show you that not everything is about the rookie auto though either anymore.
No, I mean, and that was the focus that they had to make with Wembanyama with all the his National Treasures RPA is just a fake patch out of 99.
Yep. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
It's bad for the collector when you have exclusives. It just fucking sucks.
100%.
Because if let's say you were a Texans fan and you were a CJ Stroud fan, your only option for autographs was no logo cards.
Yep.
And that's brutal.
Yep. Yeah, Allen and Ginter, I think, was his first auto or one of his first autos.
Yeah. I think Goodwin Champions was too.
Do you know Austin Meadows has Goodwin champion cards, Bob?
I thought Goodwin Champions, though, was upper deck.
It is.
It is.
Guess what?
So
I figured that out today. I know how much as Bob does.
So how would they have gotten CJ if CJ was a
They may not have gotten CJ Stroud. I was just making a thing. A lot of guys that didn't sign for Panini were signed and with Upper Deck Goodwin Champions. They were able to get them there because they weren't affiliated with any teams.
Right. It's just it was the player. It was the likeness of the player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Stroud was in all the the Fleer metal stuff. All those PMGs of all those guys, and none of them in uniform, was just so awkward looking. I don't want my Tiger Woods or my Michael Jordan card to be them in a suit jacket.
No,
Right.
It's pure garbage.
like that's not how I remember them on the field or the links or the court, whatever.
SB Game Use this year, Lemieux has they do the back end LEMIEUX and do 35 copies. They're not autographed. The picture is him sitting there in a suit as an owner. I'm like, it looks like it's not a black and gold. It's not a white and gold and black. It's the either early 70s Penguins stuff, which they use for the Winter Classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's blue and white. I'm like,
He wore them.
So they got it wrong on both. They got it wrong on both fronts.
Yeah, I was just like, this is hot garbage. And he has one other card, and it's a stick piece. It's called Stick.
I saw Lindros has
Stick
one.
to it. Number 25. Gorgeous. There's one up right now. It's the Nike part of the stick. It says Nike whatever. And I'm like, oh, that'd be nice to figure out. But we'll see.
I'm going to send you a link right now, Vinny.
Okay.
Of a card that I found today, and I want it really freaking bad. I don't have the money to pull it off. But it is an absolutely disgusting Ovechkin card from Upper Deck Ingrained from 23-24 Ingrained.
Yep.
Autographed on card. Giant chunk of stick and giant chunk of glove.
Yep. Clutch components.
It is.
That's
so
sick.
Beautiful. The opening bid's $17.99.
So if you follow our friend Zeri11, who does the artifacts, he busts wax. Watch his latest video. He sold his entire Future Watch collection and other cards to attain one card.
No kidding.
His Grail. And he sold it through Slab Sharks. He sold the Ovechkin Future Watch auto. He sold his Crosby Future Watch. I didn't get to watch it. I kind of watched it on fast forward, but I sent it to Paul and Joe. I said, holy shit, he sold his collection. One card. Rookie RPA, 3-color. Big Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
And that card's got to be worth close to 40,000, maybe 50,000, 60,000. I don't know. He gives you the math, so I'm going to watch it and see what the math was. But he pulled.
Well, the Crosby and Ovechkin are like 8 to 12,000 or 8 to 10,000 a piece.
Yeah,
graded wise.
It was a 9. He got $7,000, I think, for the Ovi and $7,000 for the. So he didn't pay that, I don't think, but.
No, not likely.
For what was the card he got? Yeah, what was the
RPA
one card
out of the cup?
The cup
of
RPA out of 99 of McDavid.
I thought you said Jesus.
Jesus.
They call him McJesus.
Okay.
Is he going to go down as the Dan Marino of hockey?
Possibly.
I mean,
it's a long way to go in his career, but it's trending that way.
This is coming from an Oilers fan, so I mean, I don't want it to be, but I just.
I mean, that was gonna be Ovechkin until they won.
Yep. We know suck no more.
He because their cap situation is about as good as the Saints every year. They've literally got like $5 to spend on somebody, and on again the Jack Campbell deal. That's a great one. But yeah, that I just always last couple of years I've wondered that. I'm like, you go as far as you can. It seems in the playoffs, and you just run out of steam because the two are Draisaitl and him are fucking. That's it. Everybody else is like literally the big player, and you have to trade away like Warren Fogle, and he's having a good playoff again. I mean, it's you just try to piecemeal people together.
Well,
And
it's
you
just
can't do that.
difficult. It's just difficult to win in the playoffs, and well, in every sport, but hockey really is too. Because, I mean, look at the Winnipeg Jets. The goalie could not be scored on all year, and then all of a sudden he's given up tons in this first round. It's just.
See, I never buy into Winnipeg anyway. They just.
Well, me neither.
And I love Halybuck, but it's at the same time that
I thought Darcy Kemper was better than him this year.
in that it's just wild how his career just. You want to talk about peaks and valleys? He's one of the guys nominated for the Vezina, and I'm like, I looked like really. Like I'm gonna have to go look at some stats because I'm like Vasilevsky and Halybuck. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but then
Kemper was there with them all year.
I just shook my head. Like,
That
okay.
that ended up being a good trade for both teams, for the Kings and the Caps. Because that was Pierre-Luc Dubois. He's been solid this year. I forgot, I was looking and I forgot to see the end of the score. I was wondering if Carolina ended up winning.
Oh,
Shit. Yeah, they did. They won the series. They won 5-4 in double overtime against the Devils. Carolina is the team I did not want the Capitals running into, because they always have their number, especially Sebastian Aho. That guy always destroys the Capitals. That's a pretty card. Say out of 10?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous card. That is the one you had me pick up, was it? I don't think so. Oh yeah.
Rub it in, Dave.
I'm not even going to tell you what they paid for it.
I still want the A-Rod of that so bad, and they're still expensive.
I know that's always going to be in like the
That one I recognize.
old school BGS.
Yep.
Lately, I've got a couple others, but mostly it's been softball shit. Shocking, I know.
I don't know if I actually mentioned this live on the show or if we were doing it in after hours. For anybody who's in the market for picking up some one touches, now's the time to do it through Ultra Pro. Just FYI.
Oh yeah.
For instance, 100 points in a 5-pack or $5.99. 180 points in a 5-pack or $9.99.
That's so cheap.
Your standard 35 point or $1.99 a piece. You can't get them except like per individual. But 100 point, 130 point individuals, if you just like need a couple, they're $1.99 a piece too. So like,
I should be ordering because I need 130. It seems like everything I pick up is 130 point.
So like, and if you spend over $50, you get free shipping, which is pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how long it's going to last. But I figured at a bare minimum, I'd at least put it out there for anybody who's in the market.
And it's on their
Ultra Pro. Yep.
okay.
Straight on their website. Because they're selling out on some of the stuff, I would say, fairly quick.
Okay.
Because I was able to buy 100, 130, and 180 points in the 5-pack. Now they only have 100 point and 180 point in the 5-packs. Everything else is individual, so singles. But again, like a 5-pack of 100 points or $5.99. Like, you can't beat that.
No.
I mean, that's a little over $1 a piece. Like,
I'll probably buy one of the full boots of 130 points. So I think they come in 25. So that'll cost $50.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're doing $2 a pop.
Yeah, and I'll gladly pay that because I know I remember I used to be able to go on eBay and buy 25 of them for like $45 shipped, and now all those have disappeared and they're like $73 now.
Yep. So again, like, normally I wouldn't and no, we are not sponsored by Ultra Pro, but again, it's one of those in which, like, I'm a mad guy. I know Michael's a mad guy. So, like, if you need spares and you need to stock up, now's the time to do it.
I need a new one for this. I stole it from another card because eBay authentication always sends in top loaders.
Yep.
But I got that beauty. And then the plate from the signing in
That
Green
turned
Bay.
out so freaking good, man.
I am so pumped with that thing. It is absolutely perfect. I couldn't have had him sign that thing any better.
No, that was perfect.
The other one that came in, the old acetate.
Did you post that one today?
I think I posted it yesterday. But I had to bring out the old photo box, light box, in order to take pictures of it because I needed a white background so the autograph and everything would show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my Instagram's been all over the place as of late. So
has it?
Like, yeah, there's times in which I'll go through and I'm seeing shit that was posted like 2 and 3 days ago. And then there's other times I'm seeing stuff that was posted like within minutes or a few hours earlier. So like I don't fucking get it.
Yeah, it's weird.
So that's why I asked, because like I commented on the Clay.
You did.
And then I saw the Favre. But I haven't seen the Rodgers.
Yeah, I posted the Rodgers yesterday.
Huh. Well, I'll eventually stumble across it. You'll get another like at some point. It'll eventually show up.
I went over, got to 101 likes on the Favre. It's crazy because it's got 101 likes, 0 comments. That's the first time anything of mine has gotten that high without there being a comment. And,
yeah, that's
and I'll tell you what, if I post anything other than football, it gets nothing.
Nothing.
Yep. It's brutal. For opening day baseball, I posted the picture of my Griffey and my Hank Aaron.
Yep.
And those cards are they're beautiful cards. You see that? It got 25.
Yeah. I don't.
It's like, how can you hate everything except for football?
Yeah, I don't. Part of it though, I think literally is the people who follow us.
Yeah.
And depends on, like, every once in a while, like, I could see you getting recommended to somebody on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just like me getting recommended to somebody. Because there's times in which I'll get random fucking likes on shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I'll get somebody that'll go and like 15 or 20 pictures at once. And then I'll go look at them. I'm like, sometimes I'll go look and be like, oh, you got really cool shit. I'm going to follow you. And then other time, because it'll be like so-and-so sports cards. And then you click on it and they have 3 posts and it's nothing.
All Prism shit.
Yeah, Prism base cards of nobody. And I'm like, and it'll say like buyer, investor, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, you're one of those.
Right.
Buyer, investor, jagoff.
Yeah. And I always hate whenever group breakers follow me and like my shit. And I'll go and I'll look and I'm like, I'm not buying into your bullshit blaster breaks.
Right. Yeah, if I'm gonna spend money on a blaster, I'm gonna go buy a fucking blaster.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I don't collect anybody that currently plays the sport.
That's still my number one post.
Is it?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's understandable. Look at the card.
Well, and then my next closest is of course that one.
Yeah.
And that's 94.
I'm
But even like 3 comments. Like,
I'm trying to think what my number one is. I don't think it's the Favre Shield. It's at 191, but I believe I have something higher than that. Actually, I did, but it's archived now because I no longer own it. I archive all the pictures on my feed, that ones I don't have the card anymore. I put it in the archive. But I believe the Clay Superfractor rookie card was 200 or 300.
oh, I lied. That's actually my second highest at 90.
Another great flawless card.
Yep. So it's flawless, and then my Supreme Quad are my top 3 posts.
That checks out.
It'll be interesting to see because at some point, because I've posted. Did I only post the duel? I think I only posted the duel of from 2000 Donruss Preferred.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've only posted the duel with him and Barry. Yep. So it'll be interesting to see when I finally decide to get around and post the triples and then of course the quad, and see how many people actually realize, especially like the quad,
Mm-hmm.
how rare that fucking card is.
Oh yeah. And at some point, I'm going to archive everything on my page and start over.
Are you?
Yeah, at some point. Just because there's a lot of stuff on there with pictures that aren't as good as I'd like to have of them now. But I did have an instance where I got my 97 Legends Tribute Favre auto that I picked up.
Mm-hmm.
I had bought it for $325. A PSA 7 just sold for almost $450. So I was like, oh, I actually made a good buy.
Yeah.
I bought something for less than what it should go for. That doesn't happen very often with me because I tend to go crazy on the stuff that I want.
But on the flip side, you have the ability to do that. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As long as you're happy with it, who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, I don't bid anything I'm not willing to pay.
Well, 100%. That's like all of us.
Yeah.
There are times in which it's like yeah, I put in a bid and I win something. It's like, okay, I paid a little bit more than what I wanted to, but there's never been a situation which is like, I overpaid for this.
Yeah.
Because how can you overpay for something if you're the one who actually put the bid in?
Right. And I mean, obviously somebody was willing to pay right up to what you were.
Yep. So did you overpay then? Technically, not really.
No.
You were where you needed to be.
Yep.
It's all about where you want to be.
Well, now on that Favre, I mean, I won that for just over 500, and then obviously I had to pay taxes and shit on it. My bid was substantially more than that.
Yeah, yours are usually stupid.
Yeah, it was almost $300 more than that. I didn't care. I wanted it.
Yours are always stupid.
FedEx had already lost the last one I purchased of it. I was not losing this one.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, but.
So.
Well, I'm going to go to bed, so I guess I'll save my 5 instruments for next week because it's already after 11.
Yeah, and it's coming up on or just over 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll open a little bit in after hours.
Okay, gentlemen. Always good.
Later.
Good to see you, Bob.
Night, Michael.
Yep, good to see
Have a good one, Michael.
You all take care.
Later.
Mm.
On that note, Dave, guess we should probably wrap it up for the evening.
And we'll open next week with the instruments. So give you an extra week. So
we're tired and winding down.
Oh, yeah. And now this week with softball, supposed to have a game yesterday. Obviously with
The weather.
nonstop rain. Thursday, we're supposed to have a game. Supposed to be more weather. So go from 5 games in 6 days last week to none, possibly this week. So,
And a shit ton next week.
oh fuck.
So what is next week? Thursday?
Thursday, possibly, probably.
Yeah, if we end up doing anything next week, it'll be Thursday. Of course, I always say we could always take a week off, but you know, nobody ever likes that suggestion because people don't like it. They yell at us. We got Lois Wrong who complains.
Santiago.
Yeah, we got Paul and Joe usually freaking jumping in. It's the one time like Ed could probably like hang out, and then he's disappointed that there's no IRP. Like, we can't fucking please everybody, folks.
Or usually anyone. Yeah, Thursday, depending again. At least the temperatures look like they're going to be nice up here.
That's good.
Mid to upper 60s and lower 70s. So finally get away from some of the snow business that. I mean, it was like the high was like 37 today. I don't.
Wow.
So with that, thanks for Michael jumping on. Thank you all for watching, sticking through this disaster.
Dumpster fire. Shit show.
Landfill. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, well, that's on you, not on us. So,
Bob,
Robert, Vincenzo, Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards, it's a wonderful hobby.
You did it, not me.
I didn't even say it that way. Shut the
He-
fuck up.
He did it the right way.
Sorry.
It's about the friendships that you forge. That's what really matters. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Strongsville 2026.
Not happening.